The following podcast contains strong language which some listeners may find offensive. If you do,
Up yours!
Hello, welcome to the Untitled Wrestling Podcast. I am Jay, joined by Troy. It's like the NXT UK days, this, isn't it? Just the two of us. Throwback there. How are you, mate? How is
Good.
everything?
Yeah, things are all right. I had a rare weekend off where I wasn't filming wrestling, so I got to just chill out, man. It was nice. Playing a lot of Helldivers, which, if you've not played, fucking get right on it.
Hell of a patriot. Freedom, democracy, all the good stuff.
All of that.
Fuck
All of that.
Fuck those fascist robots and those commie bugs. Yeah, big advocate for Helldivers too.
Absolutely.
Especially now the Serbs are opening up again. Like it's nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah, man. How about you? You all right?
I'm okay. I did fuck all this weekend. I literally was like wiped out with a fucking migraine all weekend. So it's just
fair enough.
I was just like dying in bed, like but I feel okay.
Good.
I listened to a lot of wrestling, while having it had it on the background as opposed to watching it. So I know what's happened, but I don't know how much I appreciate it. I'll probably go back and watch a few bits.
Fair dues.
Now I'm feeling a bit better. So speaking of which, do you want to go into what you've been watching this week?
So first up, what did I watch? There it is. Sov Pro filmed there.
You filmed there, didn't you?
Yes, filmed there. It was excellent. It was proper fun. Like live edited, filmed and stuff like that. Really, really good card. You had, I mean, it was a fairly sizable card, but like some real standouts. The opener was CPF against Quintessential, our boys. That was superb. Yeah, man. There was absolutely no bias at all from DJ King on commentary. Absolutely no bias whatsoever.
I doubt there would be. I mean, not that he was probably wearing a Quintessential shirt or anything like that. That's just not what he'd do, is it?
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
Just before you do go any further into it, I just want to point out to anyone listening, this show is going to be available on the Sub Pro YouTube at time of recording on Friday.
Yeah.
So if you want to watch the show, if it sounds like something you would enjoy, I'm definitely going to try and make the time to watch it over the weekend. You should too.
Yeah. I was outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. Top to bottom. So you had, as I say, CPF and Quintessential, which is a real late addition to the card as well, like literally a day or two before.
Two of the most exciting young teams in the country as well. Both, I think both, like obviously Quintessential are like both under like 21. And I believe CPF are both like under 25, aren't they?
Yeah. All of them.
They're all really young guys, like just showing what they're capable of.
Yeah. Oh, they were outstanding. Like this will be spoiler free as well, to say, like the show's going up on YouTube on Friday, so do check out. But I won't be spoiling anything here. But they had a really, really good match, like a superb opener. What else did you have on there? I can't remember what order it went in, but you had Lana Austin and Lucia Lee. Really nice bit of story behind there. Lucia Lee kind of idolizing Lana Austin, as you know, and I'm sure a lot of other people listening know. Really well established like women's wrestler in the UK and certainly beyond as well. But there's a lot of backstory there. They had a really good match, really compelling match. I imagine that will lead into some more stuff later on down the line. Yeston Reese.
Great as well.
What's that? Sorry.
I said Lucy is great as well.
Yeah.
Like she wrestles Wrestle Island quite a lot. Good to see her getting around.
Absolutely. Yeston Reese, Gauntlet of the Gods, which was just Yeston just squashing like a load of enhancement talent until a certain someone showed up at the end. Again, no spoilers, but that's leading to something well exciting. The Soft Pro Tag Team Championships, the 8-7, Roy Johnson and Alexander Roth against the team of Ian Skinner and Simon Miller, which was hilarious, but also really good. Again, a lot of story there, them kind of like trying to build and develop that tag team. Simon Miller being not so sure about it, Ian Skinner being kind of all in on it. So that was good, a lot of fun. You also had Leighton Buzzard's Homecoming, so he's part of a faction Collective. There, the Collective, yeah. which consists of Bullet, LA Taylor, I forgot what else as well. A couple of other guys. Memory escapes me. But yeah, little homecoming thing there, and some story playing into. Oh God! Again, mine's gone blank, but there's a lot of story there. They opened up the show. You also had Rory Coyle's Video Store Massacre, which was Rory Coyle against RPD, which was really. Joey Hayes is the one that's involved with the collective. It's just remembered.
Big fan of Joey Hayes.
Yeah. But yeah, the Video Store Massacre was essentially a sort of semi-friendly, family-friendly kind of like death match, hardcore match sort of thing. VHS tapes.
Wasn't like, I was going to say, it wasn't like RPD trying to kill a man with an axe like last time.
An axe may or may not have featured, but VHS's definitely did feature. That was pretty fun. Rory Coyle's amazing.
Rory Coyle's fucking so good. Like, the more people who know how good Rory Coyle is, the better. Because whenever he doesn't get round like our neck of the woods that often, but whenever he does, it's like, fuck yes, here we go.
Well worth seeing. 100%. What else have I missed out? You had Les Batsby making his SovPro debut and forming the LBWO, the Les Batsby World Order, which was just pure nonsense. But the crowd loved it. Obviously, local Manchester guy. That was hilarious. A lot of backstage stuff with them. You had a thank you match, which is essentially an I Quit match, but they had to say thank you. Between Sam Gradwell and Brady Phillips, again, two like top tier like UK talents. Sam Gradwell in particular as well, like you mentioned at the top of this, like NXT UK, both of us followed that quite closely, and he was a real standout on there, and we kind of watched him grow and evolve on that, and really became popular. They had a fantastic match.
Yeah, Gradwell's fucking great. So's Brady Phillips. Don't see enough of him.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. Yeah,
outstanding talent. At Atomic just before Christmas, me and Faye went, and we got Sam Gradwell versus Rob Drake, which was just a big old fucking horse fight.
Yeah,
fucking awesome.
Yeah, mate. It was exactly the same as this, just slapping each other about all over the place. Very little of it happened in the ring, like it was just all around the ring, on the seats up near the hard cam. Cameraman had to like move the hard cam out of the way because they were just chucking beer and this, that, and the other everywhere. It was wild. Really fun match. And then main event was for the SovPro Commonwealth Championship. Leon Slater against Jordan Oliver, which is about as good as you'd expect it to be.
Yeah. I mean, not much more I can say about that. Two of the best young wrestlers on the planet.
Yeah.
For anyone who's not seen Leon Slater, what are you fucking doing, first of all? Go find any Leon Slater match because it will probably be phenomenal.
Yeah.
And when Will Ospreay turns around and says in 5 years' time, this guy's going to surpass me.
Wow.
You know someone's pretty good.
Just a little bit.
They probably know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Big fan of Leon Slater. And Jordan Oliver, lovely guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was talking to Jordan Oliver on Twitter this weekend about the first ever indie show I went to. he tweeted about Trent Acid versus Pac.
Okay.
And he was like, "Oh yeah, this is a match that I've been dying to see. I've been trying to find it for ages, and finally found it. It's just as good as I thought it'd be." And I was like, "Yeah, that was like my first ever indie show." I was in the crowd. I was like, "What?"
No way.
I was speaking to him about that show.
Nice, very good. Yeah, that was a fantastic match. But overall, top to bottom, fantastic card. Do check it out when they drop it live on I'll say time recording this Friday, which will be the
7 p.m. UK time for Friday, I believe. I'll double check that now.
1st of March. Sounds about right.
I'm pretty sure it's then.
Yeah.
Maybe 8th.
They also announced their next show, which is False Idols.
That's bank holiday weekend.
Bank holiday, Monday the 6th on the bank holiday.
Monday.
Yeah.
Right.
And it is going to be headlined by the main event, which will be a fatal 5-way tables, ladders, and chairs match for the SovPro World Championship. Current champion is Joseph Connors. I won't ruin who's entered into that because there's some people that showed up on the show. So again, watch it to find out who's going to be in that. But yeah, a 5-man TLC match is just going to be off the chain.
It's also 3 days after Patrick Quinlan's 18th birthday, and he said He said he's going out for it. So
yeah,
if I find him, that boy's getting a pint.
Just one. Just one. Nice, but yeah,
he's happy enough without alcohol. That's the last thing he fucking needs. Yeah, I'm looking forward to checking that out.
Yeah, absolutely. So what else did I watch?
I know you watched Dynamite today.
I did, yeah. We'll come to that in a sec. I'll just briefly talk about Iron Claw, and then we can go to it because we've both kind of watched that.
I haven't seen it, but I know what happens.
In what? Sorry,
Iron Claw.
Oh, oh man,
I haven't seen it. I've seen. Funnily enough, last week Faye said she'd seen it. So I had this exact same conversation with her where I was like, I haven't seen it yet, but I know what happens.
I've got a good idea of what happens.
I've seen the Dark Side of the Ring episode on it. I know exactly what happens.
Yeah. No, it's a class. I mean, I imagine a lot of people listening being wrestling fans would have probably gone to see it. If you haven't, absolutely go and watch it. It is superb. Zac Efron does a fantastic job in the lead. It's Kevin Von Erich. And everyone else in that as well. His name always escapes me, but it's if you've seen Mindhunter, the guy that plays Tench in Mindhunter, the slightly older kind of grizzled guy, plays the father of the Von Erich family, Fritz. Yeah, it's fantastic. Really, really, really good. And there's plenty of stories in wrestling. There's plenty of source material there to be made into films like this, and hopefully this sort of sets a precedence for that to happen. There's only a handful at the moment that I can think of. Iron Claw, the wrestler, whilst not a true story, it's still a really good telling of.
Awesome though, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, just hopefully more stuff like this, because I've worked with people that don't follow wrestling at all and went and watched this and absolutely loved it, and gave them a little bit of an appreciation for wrestling as well. Whilst the film's not about wrestling as such, it's more about the family and the struggles and this, that, and the other. Still gives a kind of a bit of an insight into that. So yeah, if you haven't watched it, go and watch it because it's outstanding.
Yeah, I'm surprised it hasn't been nominated for any Oscars, unless it's missed out on the voting of it.
It might have just missed out, like the cut-off date for it might be in this year's possibly, but I'm not sure. I don't know when the cut-off is, but
this year's is like literally the actual ceremony's coming up, isn't it? I think it's this weekend.
Okay. Oh, right.
10th of March.
Okay. Sweet.
So yeah, might have missed the cut-off, but yeah, I've heard good things from all the guys. I know Jeremy Allen White, who plays Kerry Von Erich, who's also in The Bear.
Yeah. That guy. He's fantastic.
He said him and Zac Efron would be up for having a match in AEW because obviously there's a load of AEW wrestlers who were in the film.
Yeah.
I know MJF obviously is.
Yeah. Chavo was in there as well.
Ryan Nemeth plays Gino Hernandez, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Which also, Gino Hernandez would get a fucking film on his own. His story, like, if you watch The Dark Side of the Ring or Gino, fuck me. It's insane. Funnily enough, we'll get to Dark Side of the Ring later, but there's a lot of stories that come out of, like, the World Class Championship Wrestling.
Right.
That end up on Dark Side of the Ring. Including the Von Erichs. But yeah, like they both said if like they had enough time to prepare for it, they'd be well up for doing like a pay-per-view match in AEW with, I think they did say with MJF and Nemeth because they are the two guys they know. But like, even if they had a match with the actual Von Erichs, that would be cool as fuck.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Because like Ross and Marshall Von Erich have been showing up in AEW every now and again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen. Yeah, good stuff. Speaking of AEW, should we have a little chit chat about what we've watched from that for the last week or so?
Yeah, should we just pick a couple of things that sort of stood out to us? This is what we do when we've got a lot of stuff to cover, and we've got a lot of stuff to cover. So, first of all, I'd like to talk about. Have you seen Collision, Troy, or have you seen that?
I haven't seen Collision yet. Only Dynamite.
Right. Well, I'd like to give a match that I thought I'd probably, to be honest, Collision top to bottom was fantastic this week. It was fucking awesome. Just a great wrestling show. Like main evented by Bryan Danielson and Jun Akiyama. For those who aren't keeping up, Jun Akiyama is literally Eddie Kingston's favorite wrestler ever. He's his hero. And Bryan Danielson beat him and then kicked him in the balls afterwards.
Because of course he did. A little toe rag.
While Eddie Kingston was watching on commentary.
Wow.
But they had an absolutely phenomenal match. Jun Akiyama's like, I think he's in his 50s. Yeah. Late 40s, early 50s, and guy can fucking go. They just suplexed the piss out of one another.
Love that.
And knocked absolute fucking bells out of one another. Interestingly as well, there was a little bit after the match where when Kingston made the save, Claudio came to help Danielson, and Eddie was fucking livid. Mox didn't, which adds a nice little story because obviously Mox is tight with Eddie and he doesn't want to get involved in that shit, but Claudio's like, I fucking hate Eddie, I'm going to get him. And then FTR came out and made the save to obviously like sort of stand tall with Eddie Kingston, which led to an announcement of Blackpool Combat Club versus Eddie Kingston and FTR for Dynamite next week, which yes please. I'm okay with that. So I just wanted to give that a big shout out. It's a fucking absolute banger. What really stood out for you first of all then, Troy?
So what had I watched over? Because I hadn't finished. I was in the middle of kind of lunch and work and stuff like that. But the tag match, Claudio and Mox against FTR, was real fun. Really, really enjoyed that. What else did I see on there?
Claudio was an absolute little shit at the end when he kept like when he jumped up when like Dax was getting held back. That ended up in a time limit draw, which means that we're getting a rematch at Revolution. But I don't know if there's any stipulations yet.
I don't think there's anything been announced, but it feels like with that finishing as a time limit draw, like there should be like a 2 out of 3 falls or something like that. Or
they were teasing maybe it being a longer time limit.
Okay.
Which I'd be okay with if they just like give it an hour time limit, let them go like close to the hour. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that was cool. Mike Bennett and Orange Cassidy as well. Saw that. That was decent
fun match.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah. I know as well. You saw the announcement of Daniel Garcia getting a title shot against Christian Cage.
Yeah, well deserved.
Yeah, he's been smashing it since the end of last year, since the Continental Classic. Really, he's been on an absolute tear.
Yeah. That segment was fun. I mean, as soon as Christian Cage's music hit, I was like, I know what's fucking coming here. Didn't disappoint.
Well, the fact that he gave an address out, which he alluded to being like Daniel Garcia's mum's address, and then Sean Ross Sapp Googled it, and it was the address of a cemetery in Buffalo.
Fucking hell. Awful, isn't it? Awful.
I remember when we did our end of year awards and you asked me if there was more to it, and I'm just like laughing at people's dads being dead. I was like, oh, there's so much more, but that's the best part.
But that's the best part.
And like, genuinely, I think Christian's doing the best work of his fucking career at the moment. Like,
agreed. Yeah.
When he does wrestle, because he doesn't wrestle often, but when he does, he fucking kills it.
Mm-hmm.
This is a match that I didn't know I needed until they announced it, and I was like, yeah, that's gonna fuck. That's gonna go so hard.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm really looking forward to this match. Let's see what else we got. Oh, we got Hangman being a massive cop as well.
Of course.
Yeah, so there was a little backstage promo with because the main event was Samoa Joe, Swerve, and Brian Cage versus RVD fucking Hangman, which did not disappoint. Absolute banger of a match.
Yeah.
Really fucking fun. But they did a backstage promo before where Hangman was angry at Rob Van Dam and Hook for losing to Samoa Joe and Swerve respectively. And all that Rob Van Dam cared about was Prince Nana around so I can steal his weed. While Hangman was getting really fucking angry at everybody.
Because he's a cop.
Yeah, he's a fucking massive cop. They get as well some story progression with Tony Storm and Deonna Purrazzo. They both won their matches with each other's respective submission moves. So Storm won with the Venus de Milo, Deonna Purrazzo won with the breaker leg, which is like the ankle lock that Tony's been using.
Yeah.
Again, two really fun matches. Fantastic. If you haven't seen it, do check it out. There was a Sting and Darby Allin promo where it started off with Darby Allin talking about like how like Sting's sons didn't want to ever get in wrestling, and like Matthew and Nicholas Jackson took it too far by attacking Sting's sons, and then Sting appeared and revealed that he'd lost his father this week, so Christian Cage is going to be fucking feasting.
Fuck's sake.
And he basically cut this really honest and from the heart promo, and you could tell like he meant every word he said.
Right.
Where he was like, yeah, I've been thinking a lot about my own mortality. I know I'm not invincible. This is my last match, so I'm going to give it everything I've got left. And I mean, this match kind of sold the pay-per-view on its own.
Yeah.
Like that, as soon as they said this is Sting's retirement match, they sold out the pay-per-view almost instantly.
Of course, yeah.
And then when it got announced that it was the Young Bucks, there was a lot of people who were disappointed. I think they've done a fucking tremendous job of building it. And this promo was like the cherry on top of the cake. It was out of this world. If you get an opportunity to watch it, it's only about like 2 or 3 minutes, but it's fucking unreal.
All right. Get on that.
Yeah. Got Wardlow as well come out, kind of just talking about like obviously that he's basically it was quite good. So he talked about how
I saw the kind of the sub notes of it. Actually, I haven't watched it, but I saw what was said.
So he talks about how he's never received a world championship opportunity, and people need firing for that. And then he said he beat the hell out of the best in the world, and now he's not recovered since, and he's fragile or something like that. And then he talked about squashing MJF. He said maybe I'm better than you, and you know it. And then he talked about obviously he's beaten Samoa Joe multiple times for the TNT title. And he basically said, I'm best in the world, I'm better than you and the young crowd AEW champion. Really strong Wardlow promo. I feel like they've kind of not dropped the ball with Wardlow, because I feel like they sort of letting the ball roll a bit slower because they're waiting for Adam Cole to be fit with this whole storyline.
Yeah.
But this definitely planted seed for what's going to happen after Revolution. And also it made it a bit more of a grey area about whether, because we're all kind of like expecting Swerve to beat Joe. Didn't Wardlow cutting this promo made it a bit more of a grey area, or maybe Joe could retain.
Yeah.
Also Will Ospreay is announced for Dynamite this week. It got announced that Will Ospreay and Takeshita are gonna have a match, which yes please.
Yeah, man.
And yeah, then we got that wild main event, the 6-man tag. Samoa Joe won after choking out RBD. There was an interesting angle at the end of this, and I say angle because it was confirmed that it was an angle, where Hangman rolled out of the muscle buster and landed funny.
Oh, okay.
And then was like, he rolled out to ringside and was like holding his ankle. And whenever the camera was on, he was like, don't film me.
Oh, okay.
And then I literally like Meltzer got worked and told it was a fucking broken ankle. And then someone told Sean Ross Sapp, well, actually, no, he's just very good at selling. It's storyline injury, because the story work between Hangman and Swerve in this was, as to be expected, phenomenal. Like, Hangman basically was trying to injure Swerve and take him out of the triple threat. Right. So there was a bit just before that injury spot where he like power bombs. He basically just blindsided Swerve and power bombed him through the announce table. And like Swerve landed horrifically. It was horrible, but like he's fine. But it was like, oh, what the fuck? the whole match as well. Like Hook and RVD kept tagging each other in. Hangman was getting really angry because he's a cop. And he was getting more and more pissed off at his character work, and this was fucking excellent because he was just getting so wound up by everything. And it's like he's that obsessed with Stop and Swerve from becoming AEW champion that he's losing focus on
like to his own detriment
himself.
Yeah.
And Samoa Joe's just like, lads, I'm fucking right here. Like they had the stare down, and like Joe got in between the two of them, and then it ended up with like Swerve and Joe double teaming Hangman. But it was just like Joe was like, lads, I'm right here. I'm in this match too. Don't forget it. Really compelling storyline though.
Nice.
Just want to again quickly highlight on Collision before we move on. We got a rare singles match from Malachi Black.
Yeah.
Against the bounty hunter Brian Keith, which was an absolute fucking banger. Started off a little slow. Both these guys have similar style, lots of kicks, very hard hitting. Brian Keith was like all over Malachi early on, and then Malachi just like booted him off the apron and like started criming him. But then there was a bit later on where it really looked like Keith was going to pick up the win. Malachi kicked out of his finisher at like 2.9, and then just murdered him with a black mass. And then lights go out. Mark Briscoe appears with a kendo stick and starts attacking Malachi, and then the House of Black basically come out and like triple team Malachi. Mark Briscoe. Hit him with a Dante's Inferno to kind of send a message. I don't know where this is going. I'm quite intrigued. I don't know.
I was going to say I can't see who they'd put.
I think I'd be happy if it was a singles match of Mark Briscoe versus Malachi Black.
Yeah.
I'd be equally happy if it was a trios match of Mark Briscoe, Brian Keith, and add somebody else. But either way, it's giving the House of Black something to do. It's giving Brian Keith and Mark Briscoe, who two guys I really enjoy, something to do. So
yeah,
happy for it.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Just double check what else we got here. Oh shit! How could I forget about this? The opening match was a no DQ match between Powerhouse Hobbs and Sammy Guevara, and these guys did not fuck around. Literally, there was a spot where Sammy had set tables up on the outside, and when it looked like he was going for like a Rana off the apron through the tables, and Hobbs just caught him and spine busted him off the apron. And like, yeah. Sammy hit a swanton off a ladder onto Hobbs through a load of tables on the outside. And then the finish was Sammy had set up another table and was going for a GTH through the table. Hobbs reversed it into a World's Strongest Slam from the top rope through the tables.
Wow.
It was fucking wild. Like, these two were like at the point to prove, to show they weren't fucking around, and they want to be like the recognition.
Nice.
Really good. FTR had a banger with Shane Taylor Promotions, to be expected as well, because Shane Taylor Promotions are fucking awesome. And
more of that.
And other than that, we got Bang Bang Scissor Gang versus the Iron Savages. Sadly, Austin Gunn didn't get to go to Titty Town.
Boo!
No one did actually, but it was just a silly fun match. And there was a little cheeky promo of the year contender from Bryan Danielson in the back. Nice. Interviewed by Lexi Nair about the match with Jun Nakayama. He just spent it saying how he didn't respect Eddie Kingston, and Eddie Kingston's. He goes from like that to going like really fucking hard, really quick. Like, he gets really angry. He's like, Eddie Kingston's wasted all his potential, pissed it all away for 20 years until the last year, and like that's why he doesn't respect them. And it's like, okay, that's fucking cool. Whenever these two get in the ring, it's magic as well. So that will be fun.
Yeah.
And Serena Deeb had a cool little match with Lady Frost as well. We'll give a little shout out to that. Serena Deeb picked up the win. My only criticism is Serena Deeb can't cut a promo to save her fucking life. Please stop Please stop giving her a microphone after the fucking match. Just don't do it. Great wrestler, can't talk for shit. But it seems like the line and her and Thunder Rosa up for as the next kind of two contenders for the women's title. Once we get past Revolution or potentially the TBS title, who knows? Yeah. But they both kind of said it was probably going to be the women's. That was pretty much AEW in a nutshell. Went a little bit longer than I thought, but yeah.
That's all right.
So do you want to talk about the show you've got coming up on the 9th of March, Troy?
Aye. So it is not appearing on the screen as it should do. There it is. There it is. True Grit Wrestling, Leeds-based promotion. They've got a show next Saturday on the 9th of May called True Grit Redemption. And the poster is essentially the Red Dead Redemption poster. It looks fantastic. But yeah, it's a great card. Ivy against Rio for the True Grit Women's Championship, which will not disappoint. Meat Wagon against Misery Business. Lana Austin.
Boys, Meat Wagon.
Lana Austin against Natalie Sykes. For the True Grit Tag Team Championships, Crash Boat against Act 2. That should be fantastic. Act 2, talking about young tag teams, some to watch over the coming years. They're absolutely one of them.
I've seen Act 2 more times than I say more times than I can go. On more shows than any other talent, I think, in the last 12 months. Because they just get around everywhere.
All over the place.
They never disappoint. No. Friends of the podcast, Act 2.
Yeah, quality tag team. And then the main event, the True Grit Championship, champion and Serico defending against Brady Phillips, who we mentioned earlier on. Should be a really, really good match. But yeah, top to bottom, a great card. Another one I've got
a good card.
Yeah, another one I've got the privilege of filming, and it's in a fantastic venue as well. I've not been there before. I've only seen pictures and videos. It's a place called Left Bank in Leeds, and it's basically an old church. So it's just these big, look it up. It is a beautiful venue.
Is that accessible to Leeds train station at all, or?
I think so. It's on Cardigan Road. So I don't know. I'd have to look it up on a map, but I don't think it's too far. But yeah, should be great. Really, really good. And obviously, once that's recorded and done and watched, might do a bit of a rundown of it. But that'll be up on their YouTube as well. As soon as that's done and dusted. But yeah, that's what I've got to look forward to.
Ooh, keep an eye out for that. Right, shall we get into New Japan, because they had two pay-per-views this weekend.
Did.
Count two. So we won't go into too much detail because I'll be honest, I haven't seen either show. I just know what happened. Some good, some not so much. So we had Toru Yano and Tomoya defeating Shoma Kato and Tomoki Honma. Zack Sabre Jr. defeating Yuji Nagata. I've heard that match was excellent. I will probably go and check that one out. House of Torches, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Yujiro Takahashi, and Ren Narita defeating Bolton Oleg, Togi Makabe, and Raisuke Taguchi. Okada, Yo, Tomohiro Ishii, and Yoshihashi defeating the United Empires. Great Khan, Jeff Cobb, Francesco Akira, and Callum Newman. LIJ defeating Just Five Guys. And then we went on to the kind of meat and potatoes, which was the title Friday, they were calling it. So we had the IWGP Women's Championship. Mayo Iwatani successfully defended against Mina Shirakawa. IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. Show defeated Despy to win the title by count out that little bastard. The outrage. That was the first of two questionable decisions. The never open weight, three if you ask Faye, but she's not here. Never open weight heavy championship. Evil retained against Shota Umino. After the match, there was a really good video package from Jack Berry. Really fucking good. He was like in an old cinema almost. Okay. So there was an old film reel kind of spinning, and it was of Shota Umino. and then basically talking about how like he's getting handed like the keys to the kingdom while Jack Perry's been made a scapegoat, and then it just flashed scapegoat on the screen. Like,
Nice.
Yeah.
Was that then the
Jack
sound
Perry.
of some real glass smashing in the background, or?
There wasn't any this time, but I'm sure he'll find some.
I hope so. I hope so.
Second questionable choice, Matt Riddle defeated Tanahashi to win the New Japan World TV Championship.
Yeah, that's a wild decision. Yeah.
No, thank you. And in the main event, this was cool. Nick Nemeth defeated David Finlay to win the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship, and then cut the promo with his fucking life afterwards.
Really?
Yeah, like not in the ring, in the backstage area.
Yeah.
Where he's basically saying like if he didn't beat Finlay, he was probably going to retire from wrestling, and how he's been in like a bubble for 20 years working for just one company, and he had loads of like doubts about whether he could like leave and go on to be like the star that everyone thought he could be. And basically like that belt's validation. Also, he had a massive shine underneath his left eye. Like,
yeah, saw a picture. It looked rough.
Yeah, he looked like he had one of those like laughing gas pellets underneath his fucking eye.
Yeah, it just swelled up like a big fucking
Yeah, but I've heard that was really good. Again, I've not seen the show yet. I will make time to watch some of that.
Yeah, definitely.
Not so much. And then day 2, we had, when it wants to load, so we had, it says Frontier Zone. I haven't got a fucking clue what that was, but basically Yano and Tomoya defeated Katsuyori Morishima and Tomoki Honma. We then got Despy, Shota Umino, Togi Makabe, and Oleg Bolton defeating the House of Torture. And Yo stole the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. We then got the same vignette for Jack Perry. Okada's last ever New Japan match, according to Okada. He said he will never return after this match.
Yeah, I read that.
And it was Chaos defeating the United Empire and Matt Riddle, who probably gonna take over United Empire, which is sad. Yeah. Then we got God defeating God. So El Phantasmo and Hikuleo defeated Tama Tonga and Tanga Loa. It's Tama's last match in New Japan as well.
Yeah.
Him and Tanga came out in the old school like God with the face paint and the old gear and their old entrance.
Yeah.
And then I'm guessing Tama Tonga's going to NXT.
Feels like it. Probably. There's been a lot of like little vignettes been shown in the last few weeks, and a lot of them I think kind of like Japanese proverbs and stuff like that. And Gallows and Anderson in NXT now as well. I was
going to say Sour Boy and that Carney Gallows have fucked off to NXT, haven't they? we got there's a fucking random ass match. Nick Nemeth and Raisuke Taguchi versus defeating David Finlay and Gedo. Apparently this was meant to be Nemeth and Tanahashi, but Tanahashi got hurt in the match with Riddle.
Oh,
okay. Bushi defeated Taka Michinoku. Big shocker here. Doki defeated Hiromu Takahashi.
Oh.
Taichi defeated Shingo Takagi as well, and I think that was for the King of Pro Wrestling.
Okay.
Possibly. And a hair versus hair match. Yota Tsuji defeated Yuya Mira. So Yuya got his head shaved.
Oh.
After growing that majestic head of hair. And the main event, Naito successfully defended the IWGP World Heavyweight title against Sanada. After the match, Okada came out and he did a little sign of respect to one another, and like Okada basically said bye to everyone.
Nice.
And that was New Japan again. I've not seen any of it properly, but I've seen bits. I'm gonna probably go back and watch a fair few of those bad boys. What we got next? We do have a little snippets of news, don't we?
A few more news. There were some announcements for Sakura Genesis, wasn't there?
Yeah, so there's a few match announcements. I say a few, there's quite a lot, because they announced the New Japan Cup lineup as well, which I'm just getting on my phone as we speak. But before I do go into that, we did get that for Sakura Genesis, Nick Nemeth versus Tanahashi for the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. Nick Nemeth has also said he's going to be defending that belt on the regular in TNA.
Oh, nice.
So he is going to make it a global championship.
Sweet.
Also, Naito defending the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship against the New Japan Cup winner. I'll just quickly go through the people who are in the tournament. So, 4 former winners have got buys. So they are Sanada, Evil, Hiroki Goto, and Zack Sabre Jr. So I'll just quickly go down. So we got Yoshihashi versus Kenta, Shota Umino, Jack Perry in the first round.
Wow.
The mad bastards.
Wow.
Yano versus Yujiro Takahashi, TJP versus David Finlay, Tangaloa, Great O'Khan, Tomohiro Ishii versus Chase Owens, Hikuleu versus Bolton Oleg, Shingo Takagi versus Yuya Uemura, Callum Newman versus Gabe Kidd. That could be a little banger.
Please. Yeah.
This is the one I'm really excited for. Yota Tsuji versus Jeff Cobb.
Big, thick men.
ELP versus Mikey Nichols, and Taichi versus Ren Narita as well. So,
that sounds class.
And also, the winner of Taichi and Ren Narita will go on to face Zack Sabre Jr. So we could have Dangerous Tekkers implode.
Mate.
Yeah. So that's going to be a bit good, isn't it?
I always enjoy that closely.
Always enjoy the New Japan Cup. It's like 3 weeks in March where they just go fucking hard. But it's unlike the G1, which is like leagues. This is just a kind of single elimination tournament. That should be fun. As I say, the winner of that will face Tetsuya Naito. At Sakura Genesis. And the last little bit of New Japan news, which is an interesting one. So Minoru Suzuki, Mayor the Grandad himself, my Mayor the Grandad and yours, he basically teased that he's going to not leave New Japan, but certainly be going on a bit of a hiatus for a little while. So during the New Beginning, he tweeted out that he's going to be giving back strong style to New Japan, and so will Elder. And he and El Desperado no longer need it.
Interesting.
Yeah, after this, so he hasn't actually competed in New Japan since December 2023. He has wrestled for DDP, All Japan, and multiple independents throughout the years since, and obviously he's shown up in AEW and wrestled Adam Copeland, which was really fun.
Yeah.
He's also going to be wrestling at the Collective, I believe, and he's done a few shows with Rev Pro as well. Rocky Romero actually tweeted out that he's basically handling bookings for Minoru Suzuki worldwide. So
nice. Expect to see him on our doorstep fairly soon.
If you want Minoru Suzuki on your local show, Rocky Romero's got an email up on his Twitter account. Go find it.
Nice. I'd get the money together to put on our own show just to get him on.
Yeah, I just want Murder Grandad to murder someone in front of me.
Yes, please.
And also Deathmatch Despy, because that's always fun.
Yeah.
Big fan of Deathmatch Despy.
Absolutely.
Right, shall we go to the AEW news now?
Yeah, man.
Finished New Japan.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of big bits, really. First of all, AEW announced the signing of Jennifer Pepperman. What do you know about Jennifer Pepperman, Troy?
Didn't she hold a similar position in WWE previously?
She was on the WWE creative team.
Yeah.
She's also won 3 daytime Emmys.
Oh, wow. Okay.
She worked on a lot of soap operas prior to wrestling.
Right.
Held very high esteem. A lot of people who worked within WWE have come out after she left and basically said, like, what a loss it was and, like, how great she was and how great she was to be around.
Okay.
AEW announced they hired her as the Vice President of Content Development. So, obviously, that would not just mean, like, TV stuff. It would mean, like, YouTube. It would mean other projects that aren't necessarily
like
related
weekly
to
televised stuff.
Yeah. I know, like for example, Johnny TV and Ty Valkyrie have got a like reality TV show on the AEW YouTube channel that started, I believe, last week or the week before. Stuff like that, with like stuff that obviously they put out. That's and AEW is another one as well. One thing that is interesting to note is that she has previously worked quite closely with one Mercedes Moné. So yeah, take that as you will. But yeah, basically AEW and the press release about this saying, adding Jennifer Pepperman's brilliant mind to the AEW team opens the door for exciting new ideas and will help us build upon the incredible stories currently developing on the road to AEW Revolution across our 3 weekly shows on TBS and TNT, and the effects of Jennifer's arrival in AEW will be felt for many years in the future.
Good stuff.
So yeah, basically Tony Khan feels like this is a fucking huge sign, and I tend to agree. Like based on her resume alone,
yeah, absolutely.
Sounds pretty good to me. As I say, like a lot of like WWE people, or ex-WWE people as well, like Eric Bischoff, Adam Pearce, came to the two off the top of my head, came out and basically said, sad to say, leave WWE, great acquisition for AEW. People like Matt Hardy and Arya Davari, who obviously wrestle mainly, but do bits and bobs in like backstage as well in AEW, said she's a great addition to our backstage, great addition to the team. So yeah,
sweet.
It seems like AEW are really kind of taken on board a lot of the sort of criticisms they got over the last sort of like 12 months and wanting to kind of like bring back that sort of momentum they had in 2021 when Punk debuted, where like they felt like they were fucking untouchable. Before, you know, a year later, CM Punk started like punching EVPs and throwing chairs at people. But yeah, this feels like a great step in the right direction for them. And so far, they've had a pretty big year. And obviously, we've got big business around the corner, where I imagine a lot of money is going to rain from the ceiling. But let's see. Speaking of signings, there is another new signing on Rampage. Saraya announced that AEW have signed their brother, who's now going to be going by the name Zodiac Zack Knight. Previously went by the name Zack Zodiac. Looks like he's going to be pretty much like a heavy for Saraya and Harley Cameron, who are now the new Outcasts. But yeah, I've not seen him wrestle. I know you have, haven't you?
I filmed him 2-3 weeks ago at SWW down in Bristol. Yeah, great wrestler. Had a really good match with Charlie Sterling. Although Charlie Sterling can have a great match with a mop. He's fantastic. He's good. I think, didn't Zodiac have some appearances on Ring of Honor?
He's been at Ring of Honor a bit. He also filled in at the New Japan show you went to last year, or the year before.
Royal Quest. Aye, yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah, looks good. I've got on a note Hangman injury update. We kind of covered that when we were talking about Hangman. But basically, there's a lot of talk about it where apparently there's a possibility he might miss Revolution due to some personal things going on in his life, and that it's there as like if he does need to miss the show, they've got that as a note.
I see.
And if he doesn't, then it's just Hangman being a stubborn cop. But either way, glad he's okay. I think Hangman's been doing some of the best work of his career in the last like 6 months, let's say. But basically, this feud with Swerve's been like an all-timer for me. It's fucking unreal. Has the potential to be AEW's Rock and Austin. Should they like let them separate long enough? which currently they're getting too excited putting them back together.
Yeah, I noticed.
But it's one of those things where the crowd reacts accordingly. So
of course, yeah.
It's it's one of them. If the crowd are fucking happy for it, I'm happy for it.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got a wild Kenny Omega appearing.
Aye.
So on the 28th of February, obviously Kenny Omega his wrestling, his finishing move is the One-Winged Angel. The One-Winged Angel being from Final Fantasy VII, being Sephiroth. And because of this link, Square Enix have contacted Kenny to host the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth launch live stream on their YouTube channel.
That's awesome.
With Naomi Kyle. Yeah, it's cool that like Kenny Omega and Xavier Woods are both getting opportunities like this because of their nerdiness and because of like, shit like just what they're bringing to the mainstream. Like I know Kenny voiced Mayor Cody and Street Fighter as well. Street Fighter 5, I believe. And Xavier Woods got to do a lot of like stuff for Tekken 8, like the launch of that, based on up, down, covering Tekken 8 a lot. So it's cool to see these guys getting opportunities, especially Kenny's sideline. We wish him the best while he's got diverticulitis. Easy for me to say. But yeah, it's cool to see that he's doing some stuff outside while he's recovering and stuff that's near and dear to.
Exactly, yeah. It's not just kind of like filling the gap with anything and everything and anything. Like, you know, clearly a massive gamer fan, huge Final Fantasy fan. Like, this is awesome, really, really good. I'll definitely be tuned in to watch that.
Yeah, I probably will as well. Got nothing else to do. Next up, we have got potentially a new AEW pay-per-view. AEW have registered for AEW Dynasty as a trademark. This is for entertainment services in the nature of live wrestling performances, entertainment services in the nature of production of wrestling programs and events, and featuring wrestling distributed via various platforms across multiple forms of transmission media. So either a new TV show or a new pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Dynasty. I'd like this to potentially, I doubt they'll do it. This is just me spitballing it. But it would be cool if they did it as kind of like the way they did the YouTube show for the women's tournament a couple of years ago, like the Japanese women's tournament.
Yeah.
If they did something like that for like the Owen, like even if it was just qualifiers for the Owen Hart Cup tournament, it'd be pretty cool to see them do something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sounds. We knew they were obviously adding more pay-per-views. They did a little bit the end of last year where they had like pretty much a pay-per-view every month from August to December. I wouldn't be surprised if this was just. I mean, they're probably going to announce something at Revolution, aren't they? Regardless.
Yeah.
They've just.
I thought initially, and I think I saw someone mention it as well, because I think they were unsure on what the trademark was for. They just saw AEW has trademark Dynasty. And the first thing a few people jumped to wasn't MJF's faction or tag team called Dynasty before AEW with Alex
Richard
Hammerstone.
Holiday and Alex Hammerstone.
Yeah. Wasn't that called Dynasty? Yeah.
It was, the Dynasty.
I thought that might be it, but then, as you say, kind of looking into the specifics of the trademark, it sounds more like it's going to be a pay-per-view or an event sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool if it was something to do with that. But yeah, either way, it's certainly very interesting. And final bit of news for AEW before we go into our Revolution preview and predictions. We'll do them at the same time. Why not? It's Christmas after all. AEW Forbidden Door is to be held at the Arthur Ashe Stadium. This is huge.
Nice. Yeah, man.
Like, normally they do, obviously, Grand Slam at Arthur Ashe every year. I don't know if this means they're going to do 2 shows at Arthur Ashe or if they've just decided they're going to bin off Grand Slam this year and do, like, Forbidden Door there instead. But it's a fucking awesome venue. It looks totally different from any other, like, venue.
Yeah, it's a set up for tennis, isn't it? It's like a tennis stadium.
Yeah, it's a tennis stadium, so it's quite like tall.
Yeah,
Like if that makes
really
sense.
rises up quite high, doesn't it? Like it's
Yeah. Yeah, it's where like they do the US Open, I believe. It looks fucking awesome. Like
there's
as I say,
a picture of it. How do I get it? There it is for people watching. There's the picture.
yeah, yeah. When they've done the 2 Grand Slam shows, it's looked cool as fuck. Like when they've just been presented as a TV show. I think this year for Forbidden Door it'll look awesome as well. Yeah, I'm really excited for Forbidden Door because
absolutely.
With all the CMLL guys showing up, it's like okay, like we're cooking now.
Yeah, just Moxley and his war on Mexico, isn't it? Fine with that.
Moxley is just waging war on Mexico. He's done his Japan war. Now he's doing his Mexico war. You love to see it. Right, shall we get into some Revolution preview and do some predictions as well while we're at it?
Why not?
We should add this is not the final card. Knowing AEW will probably get about 5 more matches added on Dynamite and Collision between the 2 of them. So first off, which will probably, I'd assume, to be the main event, is Sting and Darby Allin defending against the Young Bucks for the AEW World Tag Titles in a tornado tag match.
Yeah.
I mean, Generation EVP are winning this one, aren't they?
Behave, are they? Absolutely not.
Sting's fucking old school. He ain't winning his fucking retirement match.
No, I don't know, man. Like it's,
and he's never lost a match in AEW ever.
Why start now with these 2 ball bags?
Because he's fucking retiring, and it gives
I don't know,
them
like I think, yeah, I guess. And then you've got them as like super shitbag heels as tag champions, but I don't know. I guess it's the logical way that they get the belts onto Nick and Matt, but equally, it still seems kind of daft to have put it on Sting and Darby for them to barely hold it and then lose it in his retirement match.
He didn't want to, did he?
No, it's true, he didn't.
He was like dead against it, and they were like, "We just kind of want to give you like this like cool little like pat on the back before you go to say thanks for everything you've done."
Yeah,
it's nice.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I still think Sting and Darby go over here, but like you say, like Sting's a nice guy. Sting's a humble guy. He's not going to want to go over in his last one, but
unless Sting gets his old buddy RoboCop to come help him out, which now I've said that, fucking do it, please do it. I think it's safe to say that the Bucks win this one.
Okay.
Plus, it's a tornado tag match, so they can do so much fuckery in that.
They can, yeah.
We've got the AEW World Championship, Samoa Joe, Adam Page, and Swerve Strickland.
Oh,
I'm going with my heart here. It's Swerve's time.
Swerve, aren't you? I want it to be Swerve, but I want Joe to hold it for longer. I'm torn because I love Joe and I love Swerve. I feel like Joe needs to hold it for longer here because he's thoroughly deserving of being champion. I just don't think he's had it long enough. But
he's had a good run with it though.
He has.
Like 2 month run he's had, it's been fucking awesome.
Unless they hot potato it between them, which I wouldn't mind considering how long MJF had it before. Like you tend to get that after a lengthy reign, don't you? So yeah,
sure. I think Swerve wins it and then holds it till All In and loses it to Ospreay.
Oh wow, okay.
That's what I think's gonna happen.
Okay.
But it's whether it happens here or it happens somewhere else. I also I wouldn't be upset if that cop Hangman Page won it either.
You would a little bit. You would a little bit because he's a cop.
He is a cop. I don't know. I think they've done a really good job of building all 3 guys up. That like I wouldn't be disappointed if any of them won it. Like I think everyone's been built up excellently going into this match.
Yeah.
Hangman like unraveling after losing to Swerve twice, to the point where he thought he was like when they drew on Dynamite the other week, he thought like he was gonna be stopping Swerve from getting his shot, and it was like actually we'll just make it a triple threat, and he's just like unraveled more, and he's got more and more like unhinged. Yeah, I think the thing is, like, Hangman and Swerve are more asked about each other, that they might just take each other out and Joe just picks up the pieces.
Yeah. That's true.
But at the same time, like, what would be very compelling is if Hangman or Swerve win, and then they do the rematch at All In. And either way, then it's like, what it's if Swerve finally gets the big one at Wembley, that's cool as fuck.
Yeah.
If if Hangman finally avenges Swerve at Wembley, that's also cool as fuck. Or if neither happens and we get like Swerve versus Will Ospreay at Wembley, that'll be cool as well. Yeah. That'll probably be more cool. But
I mean, all of the outcomes for this, regardless of who wins, are lovely. Like, I'd love to see all of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool, like, kind of paths they can go down with all of them.
Yeah. So you're going Swerve on this?
I'm going Swerve. I'm going with my heart.
I'm going Joe.
I as I say, it's really fucking hard to call this one.
Yeah, it is.
I think the reason I'm saying Swerve is because I think they've got him at that point where he's white hot at the moment. Like, if they hold off until Double or Nothing, I don't think he'd cool down. But I think it's like it's the right moment now where it would, like, everyone would go insane if he won it right now.
It's not like a now or never, but it's a now or it might not be as big when you do.
It's like when a couple of years ago when it was Swerve and Our Glory versus the Acclaimed on All Out, sorry.
Yeah.
And everyone fucking loved the Acclaimed.
Yeah.
And Swerve and Our Glory won.
Yeah.
And then he held it off for like about 3 weeks till Grand Slam.
Yeah.
Because it was in the Acclaimed's hometown and it wasn't, the crowd weren't as hot for it. It was like, the crowd are going to be fucking nuclear for this match. Yeah. Like, the Swerve to win the belt. Like, that'd be the perfect time. If they hold off, But I think it'd be good. Next up, we got Eddie Kingston versus Bryan Danielson for the Continental Crown.
Oh.
I am so torn on this one. I have no idea. Eddie's only just won it. Bryan Danielson lost to Eddie in the semi-finals, and he's been like kind of obsessed with it since. There is the whole stipulation where Eddie said if Bryan wins, if Eddie wins, Bryan's got to shake his hand. After weeks of Bryan spitting on Eddie and calling him a bum.
That little clam digger's not going to shake his hand.
Again, as I said before, whenever these two wrestle, it's fucking magic. They've got such good chemistry together.
Yeah.
I think Eddie wins.
No, I'm real torn on this. Yeah, I'm going to go with Eddie.
It makes sense, doesn't it? But like, I can see Bryan taking it off Eddie and then them hot potato it back to Eddie. Just because it'll fuck with Eddie enough that Eddie will go off the fucking deep end and like try and kill Bryan. And if we get like, even if it's like another month of Bryan just being a little shit to Eddie and spitting on him and holding the belt up in his face,
fine with it.
That'd be good too. Yeah. Next up, we've got Toni Storm versus Deonna Purrazzo for the AEW Women's World Championship. I think Toni retains here.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think they're playing the long game with Toni Storm and they're building up Mariah May to be the eventual person to take the belt off Toni.
Oh, okay. Ooh.
Which, if you go back to a couple of episodes, I say a couple, like, if you go back to like around Wrestle Dream last year, so like October, I made the point about this because there's a film called All About Eve, is it?
Right.
Basically, it's about like a young starlet who is like understudy to like a famous actress.
Okay.
And then she ends up stealing like all her roles and stuff like that. And it feels like the mirror in that with Toni, especially because Mariah goes, "It's all about Mariah." That's a catchphrase.
Ah, right. Okay.
So it's like the mirror in that film.
Yeah.
And it comes from like the golden age of cinema. Obviously, Toni Storm's whole gimmick is that.
Yeah. All right, fuck it, Toni.
But plus, it'd be nice if Mariah wins it at Wembley because she's from like down the road.
Yeah, of course.
Ospreay versus Takeshita. I think
Ospreay. Absolutely.
Yeah. it's a shame because I'd like Takeshita to murder him.
Yeah. This will be a show stealer, though, no doubt.
This has got match of the year written all over it, and I think this is just the beginning for Takeshita this year. Like, he got huge wins over Kenny Omega. He beat Jericho recently as well.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he got huge win over Kenny Omega last year. I think a certain someone showing up is gonna have a lovely little feud with Takeshita. I can't wait for it. It's gonna be so much murder. Speaking of murder and dead people, we've got Christian Cage versus Daniel Garcia for the TNT Championship.
Fuck's sake.
I think Garcia does it.
Really?
I think so. They've been super high on Daniel Garcia recently. Like, so fucking high on him.
High enough to put a belt on him?
Yeah.
Do you reckon?
They had him like literally go from like jobbing out to everybody in the Continental Classic to the last match beating Brody King clean as a fucking whistle. And then rarely losing since.
Yeah, I've not thought of it like that.
And he drew with Adam Copeland, who's only lost one match in AEW. And that was to Christian Cage. Oh, sorry, 2 matches in AEW and they was Christian Cage.
Oh, I had Christian dead cert down to retain here. You do make a compelling argument, but I'm going to stick with Christian Cage, I think.
I think they're going to... They sort of did enough teasing that they might go to Daniel Garcia versus Adam Copeland versus Christian Cage.
Okay.
Coming up this. And obviously Garcia said like he wants to wrestle Adam Copeland again, but when he's the TNT champion. So it means that they can do that. Christian will want his rematch.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I also wouldn't be surprised if Christian won this, to be honest. I just think they're really fucking hot on Daniel Garcia at the moment, so it would make sense. Orange Cassidy versus Roderick Strong for the International Championship.
That'll be good. Cassidy retains for me. Good. Yeah.
I think Roddy wins.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they've had Orange going through all these fucking like really hard matches.
They have.
To get to Roddy.
Bled buckets the other week, didn't he? And then
against Saban.
Yeah.
He filled in against Bennett when Trent was meant to be wrestling. They're doing the whole thing that they did last year where Orange is like wrestling so much that his body can't handle it.
He rocked up in Rev Pro last weekend, didn't he?
He did. He wrestled the scramble match. Yeah, like they're doing so much. Even on Dynamite this week when they basically were saying like the doctor was like, I'm barely clear.
Clearing him. Yeah.
And Orange's like, yep, I'm clear though. I can wrestle. Like it's like last year where they did the whole thing where Orange's road to defending that belt against Mox until his body just gave up on him and he realized and he's wrestling the Messiah of the Backbreaker who's going to break him.
He's going to snap him in half, isn't he?
Yeah. Plus, Roderick Strong deserves a title run. He's been doing the Lord's work.
He has. Agreed.
I mean, he literally overcome like paralysis to be wrestling for us right now.
Sure he did.
Yeah. He's next strong.
So you're going Strong?
I'm going Roddy, yeah. You going Orange?
Yeah, I've got to keep this exciting, haven't I? Go on.
Okay.
Orange.
Next up, we've got FTR versus BCC. I think BCC.
BCC.
I think see it's a hard one because I feel like they're trying to get FTR back into the title picture. Bald and Gun back into the title picture. And obviously, if the Young Bucks win it, and they've got this kind of like they keep like kind of converging on one another.
Yeah,
it would make sense to do FTR and Bucks for like I think it's the 4th time now.
Yeah. Which would be fine. Absolutely great.
I mean, the All In match was fantastic. The first match they did was fantastic. The second match they did was fantastic. They're incapable of having a bad match together.
Yeah.
But also, Mox and Claudio versus Young Bucks would be very exciting. Claudio uppercutting the soul out of those fucking so yeah, I think I don't know, I'm really torn on this. Part of me thinks BCC is like a dead set, but then another part of me thinks, but FTR don't really lose often. Nah, I'm going BCC. Fuck it.
I'm going BCC.
But Mox has got to fucking like get himself ready for like going and murdering all of Mexico. That inevitable feud with LFI that's coming soon.
Yeah.
He's got to fucking sacrifice Drillista go to the old gods. And finally, we've got Meat Madness, which is so far Wardlow, Lance Archer, and Powerhouse Hobbs.
Is this endorsed by Big E? Meat
Big
Madness.
Tasty.
And Big Tasty, yeah.
Big Tasty doesn't know how to handle this. He's very, very, very excited. Yeah, I'm gonna say I don't think Lance.
No.
I think it's between Hobbs and Wardlow, and both have been booked super fucking strong recently.
Is there someone else in it as well?
Potentially, yeah. They have.
Miro?
So far, Miro could get added to it. He's not been doing much recently since him and Andrade stunk up the joint at World's End. I'm trying to think who else is a big lad. Preston Vance is a big lad.
Aye.
Brian Cage, but I'm pretty sure that Brian Cage is going to be wrestling Hook on this card.
Yeah.
And that's like the most uncertain match we've got.
Without
Stokely
knowing who the
Hathaway.
fourth, Stokely Hathaway.
Well, they never said how many people. They just said an open invitation called Meat Madness.
Oh, okay.
So there could be like about fucking 8 guys on there.
It's going to be an absolute carvery.
Oh, it's going to be great. I can't wait.
I'm
going to say...
Of those announced
Wardlow.
so far, you're going for Wardlow?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be inclined to agree. Until I find out who else is in there, but Wardlow seems the sensible pick as it stands.
Yeah, well, like they've been... It's weird because, like, as I say, they've been booking Hobbs super fucking strong recently. But then, like, they've literally been, like, kind of, like, saying that Wardlow is going to be getting a shot at Samoa Joe, but at the title at some point.
After that promo, there's no way he goes into it and doesn't win it. Otherwise, it's just like, well...
It'll be between those... It'll definitely be between Wardlow and Hobbs.
Yeah.
But I think Wardlow seems like the more sensible option.
Yeah. Agreed.
Although Hobbs did say someone contact NASA because they're going to strap a big ass rocket to his back. Yeah, I'm down for that. Yep. But yeah, I'm really excited for, and also because Hook and Brian Cage is probably going to be on the pre-show.
Yeah.
I'll say Hook retains.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's looking like it's going to be a really good show. I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, very much so.
I'm glad AEW are back to, at the moment, doing like breaks between pay-per-views because I felt like I was going to fucking die on that like last end of the year.
Yeah, it's a bit of breathing space.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, shall we talk about? Well, seeing as it was Sting's last match,
right?
Should we do some total Nonstop Grantion? Because Faye's not here.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
Oh,
let me just collect my notes. So, let's talk about Sting's feud with Abyss.
Let's.
Because, oh boy, did they have some shitty matches. There's spoiler alert. There's 2 Sting ones. There's this one which I added based on Faye's reaction to Abyss last week.
Right.
And then she's not here, so you're getting it instead.
Thanks, pal.
Sorry, mate. And then there's another one which Faye thought she was getting away from, but she ain't. I put that one on the back burner, just went face back. Get well soon, Faye. So, how familiar are you with Abyss?
Fairly familiar. Like, I didn't watch an awful lot of TNA back in the day, but yeah, I'm very aware of who Abyss was. I know at one stage, like, he was, I wouldn't say very good. It was never kind of bad, but like, you know, he was a big heel. He was their equivalent. He was their equivalent of Kane. Very compelling. Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of like a cross of Kane and Mick Foley.
Yeah, Yeah.
And as I was saying to Faye last week, he got offered the opportunity to sign for WWE and wrestle Undertaker at WrestleMania, and he turned down staying TNA. God knows why. Do you know what he did instead of that?
Do tell me.
He feuded with Sting.
I mean,
so
that's all right. Well, on paper.
It started off okay. So he beat Sting for the NWA World Heavyweight title by DQ.
Right.
He won the belt because if Sting got DQ'd, Abyss would win the belt, and Sting hit him with a put him through tables and that were wrapped in barbed wire and got DQ'd.
Why were they there with that stipulation?
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
I thought you said this started all right.
Well, it started all right for Abyss. And then this turned into like a triple threat feud with Christian Cage, Sting, and Abyss. So Abyss retained it in a normal triple threat at Turning Point in December 2006. He then retained the belt over both men in a nightstick on a pole triple threat match on an episode of Impact. Mate, Vince Russo's booking this.
I was just about to say, what Vince Russo...
You've got to have some shit on a pole, otherwise what's the point, bro? And then
you fucking finally,
in a final resolution in January 2007, in a triple threat elimination match, Abyss lost the belt to Christian Cage after Sting eliminated Abyss, and then Abyss caused Sting to lose the match to Christian. So that got the belts out of that feud, so they could carry on a feud. They then went on to basically Sting then found out Abyss's real name and did some digging on Abyss and found out that he served some time in prison for shooting his dad. So at the next pay-per-view, they had a prison yard match.
Oh, my life.
Do you want to know what a prison yard match is, Troy?
Not really, but you're going to tell me.
Oh, yeah, I am. So it's essentially... let me just get the rules up here because it's Russo, so I need some like kind of reference point for this. So a prison yard match is where there's a cage in the middle of the ring, and it's literally like about like 8 foot tall and about like 3 foot wide.
Right.
And the winner is the person to lock their opponent in said cage.
So they have to wrestle around a cage in the middle of the ring?
Yes.
Oh, fuck.
And it was no DQ, so there was like a spot where there was like a barbed wire board and tables. Sting ended up winning that after putting Abyss through the barbed wire board and just throwing him into the cage and locking the door.
Right.
But that wasn't the end of the feud, Troy. That wasn't the end. That was just, you could say that was just the beginning, because there was one more match they'd have in this feud, which was their infamous Last Rites match. Would you like to know what a Last Rite?
Yeah, I do.
So,
I do.
You know a casket match?
Yes.
How can you make that more extreme?
Tell me.
So basically, they had the casket in the middle of the ring because, of course, they did.
Of course, they did.
And it was attached to a platform, and they had to put their opponent in the casket, shut the lid, and then get it raised to the ceiling. Yeah.
What the fuck?
There's multiple times where it got broke, where it would be like about like 6 foot in the air, and the person would jump out.
Oh, naff.
Now this was the infamous match.
Because the other ones weren't.
Well, this was the one that caused the Fire Russo chant.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah. So basically, this match was so bad that the fans started chanting Fire Russo.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And TNA kept bringing him back.
Jesus wept.
Yeah, so... Oh, and the other thing as well, when when the casket would be going up, the lights would start flickering and smoke would start coming out.
Oh no.
And the other thing, because obviously it was on like a platform that come down,
Right.
it obscured the view for the fans, so half the crowd couldn't see the match happening because there was this fucking big smoke. And yeah, they also broke the casket because Abyss chokeslammed Sting onto it. And that was the only thing that people popped. So yeah, Sting won that by throwing Abyss off the top rope through a tombstone and some chairs, and put Abyss on his deathbed and sent him up to the rafters. And all the fans were just chanting Fire Russo throughout this match.
Yeah, that sounds like dog shit.
Yeah, they did have other matches in 2007. Basically, the only other time though was it was within Lethal Lockdown, which was TNA's version of War Games, which they were just on opposite teams. I believe it was Team Sting versus Team Christian Cage. Oh no, sorry, Team Kurt Angle versus Team Christian Cage because they were feuding over the world title.
Okay.
And yeah, that was fine because it was a Lethal Lockdown match and Kurt Angle was perked out his brain and like probably threw someone off the top and was celebrating like he just won like the fucking gold medal at the Olympics again. Because that definitely happened in one where he threw AJ Styles off the top onto people and AJ just cleared the people. And then Kurt's just on the top like but yeah, that was Sting's awesome feud with Abyss from 2007.
Thanks for subjecting me to that pish.
Oh, it's all right, mate. What I'll do is I'll send you the article so you can that I got this from, which was on the Sports there, which kind of like gives you the cliff notes, but it also has lovely pictures so you can.
Oh joy!
You can see you get just so you can see the.
I want to see this casket nonsense.
Well, there's a picture of the cage and there's a picture of the casket as well.
Brilliant! Can't wait.
So the casket is it's just the casket. You can really see. You can't see everything else. So it's just basically when the casket lid was up, it was kind of like impairing the view of the fans on hard cam.
What the fuck is that?
Is that the cage or the casket?
The casket.
Have you seen the cage above it?
No, I'm getting to it. Where's the cage?
The prison yard match.
Oh my life. No, I'm not reading any more of that.
So I've just put that in our group chat for Troy to look at. And Faye's just put, is this upsetting or just something for me to read?
Yes.
she's not escaping from TM Faye this week, folks. But yeah, that was that. Abyss, I would like to add, Abyss was very good. Like he had some very fun matches in TNA. It was just all his storylines revolved around him going to prison or going to insane asylums or shooting people when he was a kid.
Brilliant.
And yeah, been through so. Anyway, let's go from talking about TNA past to TNA present.
Aye.
Because it's been a bit of an interesting week, hasn't it?
It has been a few bits, hasn't there?
So, well, before we go to obviously they had a pay-per-view, which we will get to. First and foremost, let's talk about the Josh Alexander situation because this is we'll do it chronologically here. So, on I believe it was last Wednesday or Tuesday, TNA announced that they'd elected to extend Josh Well, first of all, they announced that Josh Alexander had signed an extension. They then immediately deleted that tweet and said they have elected to extend Josh Alexander's contract. This kind of was a bit of a weird thing. There's a clause. Yeah. Essentially, there's a clause in a lot of people's contracts where if they want to, they can extend it for a year. Apparently, Josh Alexander had asked if he could kind of remain a free agent.
Explore the market.
Yeah, just to see what offers were coming in, if anyone was interested.
Yeah.
And I imagine probably would have still remained in TNA.
Yeah, but it would have been nice to.
Yeah. This is a guy who's kind of like really helped in the rehab of the image of TNA. As one of the faces of the company.
Yeah.
So they've extended his deal for 12 months. His wife, Jade Chung, actually tweeted out just saying TNA have extended Josh's contract. And that was it. Like, oh, boy. Right. Yeah. I mean, he's still on and still went on to assumably had a banger with Simon Gotch because he's Josh Alexander and he's fucking outstanding.
Of course he did.
But he has yet to kind of comment on this. When we were recording last week, a lot of TNA talents were posting like egg timers.
Karrion Kross.
Like, no, thank you.
He responded to it. I wished it into existence.
Jordan Grace absolutely destroyed him as well.
I saw.
Except Bro thinks he's
trademarked an emoji.
Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting to see what's going on with that. There's been kind of like a lot of talk about potential mass exoduses. Prior to No Surrender, there was a TNA talent meeting, which Fightful Select does have some information on, where they said TNA held a meeting with talent and some of the new bosses within the company, and we've gained some reactions from it. Fightful was told the meeting was planned out well ahead of time. It featured some of the bosses within the company, both familiar and ones the talent will be answering to now. Some talent had spoken with higher-ups individually as well. The general feeling was that nobody wanted the roster to abandon the hard work they've done as a group, even if they don't agree with the decision to replace Scott D'Amore. We're told that there was one top name in TNA that was looking to leave the company and decided to ride it out after the weekend's tapings and seeing how the meeting went. I assume that was probably either Josh Alexander or Moose.
Yeah.
We're told that the new higher-ups were open to feedback from the roster as well. Several wrestlers said that while they didn't agree with the decision, the meeting did a good job getting them excited for the possibilities of TNA moving forward. As of now, Scott D'Amore is not expected to rejoin the company, although many on the roster are still hoping for it. So basically, the new hierarchy have sort of got them together, rallied the troops, and said, "Look, we've done so well to build it this far. We want to continue that momentum."
That's
and
fair.
It appears like they've kind of
got everyone on side.
Yeah, so everyone back sort of excited again to be at TNA, which is good because I think TNA are doing great stuff at the moment.
Agreed.
Apparently, I've not seen it yet. I am going to buy it because it's only £10 on Fight TV or Trill or whatever it's called now. Sorry, I need a drink there. TNA No Surrender, which was on Friday. I do know what happened. I've heard this was, and I'm going to tell everyone now, but I've heard this was a very, 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 very good show. As to be expected with some of this card. So let us get those results up and we'll talk all about it. There's a couple of surprise title changes as well, wasn't there?
Wow.
I did see.
One of them I kind of expected, but yeah.
Yeah, I think I know which one you mean, but even then it was quite surprising because he's not fully signed.
True.
So on the pre-show, we had the Rascals, Zachary Wentz and Trey Miguel defeating Speedball Mountain, the team of Trent Seven and Mike Bailey. The System, which is Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards, defeated Kushida and Kevin Knight. And then on the main show, we had Eric Young defeating Frankie Kazarian for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, #1 contendership. Eric Young will challenge the TNA World Champion at TNA Sacrifice in March. Sacrifice. The numbers don't lie. Speaking of the numbers not lying, in the TNA World Tag Team Championship, best of 3 series. The Bullet Club's ABC, which is Ace Austin and Chris Bay, retain their tag titles against the grizzled young veterans to bring the series 2-1. Apparently, all 3 of these matches have been phenomenal. I do need to check it out.
Yeah, your boys.
I think it's a matter of time till the GYV win some TNA gold.
Yeah.
They're already the Wrestling Revolver Tag Team Champions as well.
They are, yeah. They won that like almost immediately after being released, didn't they?
Yeah, they beat friend of the podcast, Alex Colon, for it.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who his partner was, but they beat him too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. PCO defeated formerly Connor of the Ascension, via DQ, after they basically just brawled everywhere. After the match, Con got a chair, snapped PCO's neck with it, and then handcuffed him to the stage. So I'm guessing that's going to lead to some kind of big hoss murder street fight. Next up, the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championships. MK Ultra, the team of Masha Slamovich and Killer Kelly, defeated Decay to win back the championships. And they're going to be facing, I believe, Jody Threat and Danny Luna at Sacrifice.
It feels like it wasn't that long ago that they were tag champs anyway. Like, that must have been quite a short reign for Decay.
They literally lost it at a Hard to Kill.
Oh, so like a month ago?
Like 6 weeks ago.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
It is what it is.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, at least the tag division in TNA, the women's tag division in TNA is kind of worth watching. There's actual tag teams there, yeah. Just more than can be said for other promotions' treatments of women's tag team championships.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope to see more women's tag teams forming as well in TNA. I mean, Danny Luna and Jody Threat are a newly put together tag team, but they've been wrestling for the last couple of weeks.
Someone who's doing a bit of travelling about in the coming months. One Charlie Evans. Just get them over there. Just get Medusa Complex over there.
I was about to say, are you talking about a certain Medusa Complex?
Aye.
Because do you not threaten me with a good time? All I want is MK Ultra versus Medusa Complex.
Whoa, all day, please.
That would absolutely fuck.
Yeah.
Also, I know Charlie Evans put that she was taking bookings. If you're a local promoter listening, get Charlie Evans and ideally Millie McKenzie too on your shows.
Do it. I mean, I know she's coming to Resurgence, their show, in a few months.
That's not a surprise.
Yeah. I mean, former Resurgence champion.
Well, yeah. And also they announced that like pretty much immediately, didn't they?
As soon as she was like, I'm touring, they were like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple of people who have been teasing, maybe. I mean, if anybody wants to book Scouse and Proud versus Medusa Complex,
ooh,
I would like that. I would travel for that match.
Yeah. Yes, please.
Yeah, that would be nice. To be honest, just someone book Millie McKenzie versus Holly Hudson as well. That'd be a fucking banger.
And she's gone now though. She's gone overseas.
She has.
She said her goodbyes at South Pro the other week. She's gone up to I think she's in Canada or something.
She's gone. She's in TNA's developmental in Canada, isn't she?
Yeah.
Which is awkwardly run by Scott D'Amore. I bet that's going to be a fun conversation. Next up, Josh Alexander defeated Simon Gotch. I reckon that would have been a really fun match.
Yeah, man.
Josh Alexander's fucking awesome. Like,
he is.
Just give him what he wants. Just strap him up, give him all the fucking belts. Get him back tagging with Ethan Page so we get the North back and they're just murdering people, please.
Yeah.
Because they're one of my favorite fucking tag teams ever.
Yeah.
He said he wants to do the G1. Gado, do that. You little shit. My mate Gado. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Gato fucking loves me. I don't know what you're talking about. I've not got a video on my phone of me going, "Hey, Gato, fuck you," and then turn around going, "Shut up." And Gabe Kidd getting legit angry at me because I kept shouting, "Gato, shut the fuck up." Next up, we had AJ Francis, formerly Top Dollar. He's in TNA by looks things. Been feuding with Joe Hendry. He had a little backstage thing with Rich Swann. Kind of teasing that they're going to be having a match, but maybe forming a tag team.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens there. TNA World Championship in a no surrender match. Moose defeated Alex Shelley. So basically, the rules of a no surrender match, it's kind of like an I quit match, but your cornermen have to throw the towel in.
Yeah.
So Moose had Alicia Edwards, Eddie Edwards, and Brian Myers in his corner. Alex Shelley had Kevin Knight and Kushida in his corner because Chris Sabin was a bit busy. And basically, Moose wrapped his shoulder in a chain and threatened to spear Shelley, and Kushida threw the towel in, and then Moose just did it anyway.
Moose did it anyway, didn't he?
Yeah. Next up, the TNA Knockouts World Championship. Jordan Grace defeated Giselle Shaw. I imagine that'll be nice because they're both great.
Yeah.
Jake Something. We'll have more on him in a moment. Cut a promo backstage where he basically challenged the X Division champion for a match at presumably Sacrifice. And then the main event, X Division title main event. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, man.
The former champion now, Chris Sabin, lost his belt to the man of the people in Ali we trust.
Yes.
Mustafa Ali. I was telling Faye about like what they've been doing to kind of hype this feud up in recent weeks. Have you seen much of it?
No, I haven't. I've seen Ali's like just general like kind of promo like vignettes and stuff, but not actually part of the feud.
So obviously Ali's gimmick is that he's like a kind of presidential candidate.
Yeah.
And he's been doing a lot of video packages based on that. He had that fucking awesome entrance where he come out like flanked by the Secret Service. He's basically as well. The other thing he's been doing is on Impact during Chris Sabin's matches, he was buying like ad time for like a political commercial.
Oh yes, I've heard about this during the matches. Yeah.
Excellent. Ali's fucking brilliant. They're letting him be a heel, which is even better. It's his year, isn't it?
We said that as soon as we heard he was released. It's like, that's it. And his name just started popping up all over the place. This is only the beginning.
A guy that creative being allowed to be that creative.
Yeah.
It's just a no-brainer, isn't it? I can't wait to see. Can't wait to see where else he shows up. Obviously, we know he's going to be wrestling in New Japan soon.
Yeah.
He's going to be. I assume he's going to show up in AEW at some point because Bryan Danielson fucking loves him. You've got to be expecting that he's going to be having that match with Bryan Danielson at some point this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ali is the new TNA X Division champion. He cut a really passionate promo after the show as well, just like thanking the fans and said it's his first major championship he's won in 20 years, which is insane.
Wow.
The fact that he was in WWE for what, like almost like close to a decade, wasn't it?
Say close to 10 years, wasn't it?
About 7-8 years.
Yeah.
And they didn't have the good idea to go, this guy should probably hold the belt.
This guy, yeah.
I mean, they did the whole Cruiserweight Championship thing, and they just didn't want to. Which, I mean, to be fair, they give it to like guys like Cedric Alexander, Buddy Murphy, so guys who very deserving of it. But Mustafa was doing the Lord's work at times.
Yeah.
But yeah, great to see. I'm so excited to see what's next for him. Really am.
Yeah.
And then last little bit of TNA news.
Aye.
This is just a tidbit because I saw it. I saw someone's name and I got really excited. So Jake Something had an interview with a Fightful, and he brought up TNA legend legend Monty Brown, the alpha male himself from the Serengeti. And he said that he's still jacked, he's still in amazing shape. And that he's a personal trainer now. He used to show up in Saginaw. I think I've said that right. Saginaw in Michigan. Basically that's his local area. It's where Jake Something and Rohit Raju used to do a lot of indies. Okay. And Monty Brown would show up at the occasional indie show and just pounce like someone and fuck off. Well, like have a laugh. One of the biggest for me what ifs in wrestling. Guy had it all. He was in TNA till 2006. He for whatever reason he just kind of like didn't pull the trigger on him when they could have. Because he was like the TNA homegrown guy. Like it was him and AJ. And like for whatever reason he just didn't see it in him. He left, went to WWE, looked like he was going to be going on to great things, and then I believe his sister passed away and he had to retire to look after her children.
Oh man.
Yeah. But awesome. He invented the pounce, which is man. Everyone does the pounce now. Yeah. All the horses love it.
Yeah. Roy Johnson does the pounce, man. I get excited every time I see it, so I'm like, yeah, I know who did that first.
Roy Johnson's definitely a big Monty Brown fan. Just saying. I'll ask him next time I see him, but I'm pretty sure Roy Johnson's a big Monty Brown fan. Because why wouldn't you be? Yeah. But yeah, it reading that gave me a little bit of hope that we might get one more match.
Wrestle Dream.
Don't give me hope. Fucking Forbidden Forbidden Door, Monty Brown comes out and just pounces Shane Taylor. That's all I want. Yeah. Oh, Shane Taylor should be in Meat Madness. Big fucker. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because I got excited that I saw Monty Brown. Please don't give me hope, but yeah. And the last two bits, let's do these in reverse order from what they're on the list. So next week, so on the 5th of March, season 5 of Dark Side of the Ring is back. And to say I'm excited is an understatement. Because it's a fucking very good show. So the first episode is going to be focusing on the life and career of John Tenta, who portrayed Earthquake in WWE and the Shark in WCW. I didn't know there was like much controversy around him.
But, no, nor did I. I was surprised to see that on there.
I know he died at a very young age. And yeah, like I was very, very surprised by that, but it should be good. So other episode topics are as follows. I know we've got Gentleman Chris Adams to go back to the WCCW sort of I'm trying to think what I was going to say. The topic of WCCW.
Yeah.
There we
go. You mentioned it earlier with the Von Erichs, didn't you?
Yeah. I know there's also a Buff Bagwell one. There is a sensational Sherry one.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Kerry Gordy, another name from that kind of era and territory. Black Saturday, which was Vince McMahon purchasing Georgia Championship Wrestling in 1984, and then obviously taking their TV slot. Chris Colt, who no idea who that is.
Not familiar, no.
The Sandman.
Yeah.
Harley Race.
Oh, wow.
Buff Bagwell.
He said that, yeah.
And Brutus, the fucking barber, Beefcake.
Fuck about. Yeah,
so
there's some names on that series.
Some big ones, yeah. The only thing I'm disappointed about, the only thing I'm kind of like a little bit gutted about is that there's usually one or two that I won't have any idea about at all.
Yeah.
And for the most part there, other than Chris Colt, who I haven't got a fucking clue about.
Yeah.
And they're usually the ones that are like, oh my God, this is wild. But other than Chris Colt, I I've got a general idea of what most of them are going to be about.
And yeah.
But I mean,
Still
it's
be
a
good.
fantastic show.
Yeah.
It's going to be very good. Yes, please.
Yeah.
And fine element. Let's get on a bit of a high note, shall we? Because, well, just because we don't want to end on a down. So, Joey Janella announced the first match. Well, technically the second match for night 2 of Joey Janela's Spring Break, which is going to be called Clusterfuck Forever. Which obviously will have the aforementioned clusterfuck because it always does. Which, for those who don't know, it's basically a Royal Rumble, but with absolute nonsense.
Yeah,
you'll get the occasional serious entrant, but most of them will just be like
just nonsense,
like Z-listers from like the fucking New Generation era. Like I know 1 year they had Mantar come in. Another year they had Jimmy Wang Yang in it, and then his daughter came out, and they eliminate Josh Barnett.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm trying to Google. They had early morning Guy Steele, which is an experience in itself. Google early morning Guy Steele if you don't know who that is.
Okay.
They've announced one guy for it called American Giant. I've never heard of him.
Wow.
But they've said he's going to be in the clusterfuck.
Okay.
He looks big. He looks like a big fella.
Yeah.
But say he's a giant. And they've also announced another match, which I never ever thought I would see in my entire life.
Oh God! I thought you said you wanted to end this on a high.
This is a high note, Troy. wait till I tell you what this fucking match is.
I know what the match is.
Well, exactly. So you should be excited. So it's going to be a 4-way tag team match for the GCW tag team titles. The team of Jacob and Zilla Fatu, Violence is Forever, the Bollywood Boys, and Los Macisos. That's good, isn't it?
That's great.
Yeah.
But what's the
and
stipulation?
They're going to do it in a Punjabi prison match.
Fuck's sake. Fuck about.
I want to know how big that venue must be if they're doing a Punjabi
fitting one of those in, because that's not just one exterior bit. There's several, aren't there?
It's got to be... Well, it's 2 cages, isn't it? But made out of bamboo. They're about fucking 20 foot tall.
Oh, you know Great Khali's showing up, don't you?
Oh, absolutely.
He's absolutely showing up.
I'd be disappointed. I mean, I love the fact that Bollywood Boys are in it. After the last fucking Punjabi prison match where one of them nearly died.
Oh, Christ, yeah. The one with Orton and fucking Jinder.
Where Khali took the belt. It's my belt. The clusterfuck is going to be outstanding. I think the thing I find more funny about it is that that the 1 year that Ryan went to the collective, there wasn't a clusterfuck. And he's absolutely fucking raging about it. So I'll just quickly as well, while we're on the topic of Spring Break, I'll just mention the matches that have been announced so far for that, because that also bears talking about, because fuck me, they ain't fucking around here. No. So we have got, when I can find the card, for Joey Janelle Spring Break 8. This feels like it's a bit more kind of, I wouldn't say like crazy as in like bad crazy matches. I'd say holy shit, that's wild matches. Yeah. So we've got Volador Jr. versus Gringo Loco, which yes, please.
Yeah.
The Rock and Roll Express and Kerry Morton versus the East West Express and Mike Bailey.
Amazing. Wow.
Yeah. And then a 6-man tag team match, which is Dragon Gate past versus Dragon Gate present. So Dragon Kid, Casey, and Yamato versus Benkei, Kota Minoura, and Shun Skywalker.
I know Shun Skywalker.
Just there after this, Troy, just like look up Dragon Kid and Yamato, because they'll blow your fucking mind.
Sweet.
Dragon Kid's insane. If he can, but he's also like getting on a bit, so if he can do half the shit that he could do like about 15 years ago, it'd be cool.
Right.
And then the last one that has been announced so far is Masha Slamovich and Rina Yamashita versus Masato Tanaka and Minoru Suzuki.
What the fuck?
So the fact that Minoru Suzuki and Masato Tanaka are on a tag team together is frightening in itself.
Yep. Jesus.
And then Rina's in that match. Oh god, I can't wait. Yeah, the collective is looking to be awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
Absolutely.
Also, within that, you've got obviously Progress got a show, the Five got a show.
Yep.
Bloodsport, which we covered last week.
DDT doing another one this year.
I don't remember if they are.
I know Tokyo Joshi are, aren't they?
Tokyo Joshi Pro are. I think DDT might be.
Okay.
GCW and JCW versus the World, which has got talent from all over the world, literally.
For the culture.
For the culture, Effie's Big Gay Brunch.
Yep.
2 nights of spring break.
Yep.
No World on Lucha this year, which is a bit disappointing, but I guess like with the GCW, JCW versus the World, that's kind of gonna. Yeah. There's a lot of there's some lucha stuff.
Yeah.
Gringo's getting his fix of lucha. It's all right.
No emo fight this year.
No, to be honest, it was a bit of a weird one. They added emo fight to it last year, like because normally they do emo fight just as like a random show, like around like Labor Day weekend.
Right.
Not Labor Day. The other one.
4th of July.
Basically round like Memorial Day.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, like it was just a random one that just to fill it up. But either way, it's always good. It's a great show.
So good. So
Ringo,
good.
Ringo Loco's probably going to be wrestler of the week there because he's got a match against Kenta. Well, he's got a match against Kenta. He's got a match. Yeah, he's got a match against Volador Jr., which will be silly. He's got matches against fucking the Dragon Gate guys. So we're going to get Yamato and Dragon Kid in the match with Gringo, which is wild. Yeah, he's probably going to be doing the little speedball MVP of the collective this year. But yeah, either way, it's really good. We're going to be covering it in depth. We're going to be watching them all live somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
We'll work something out.
We'll find Pro Plus, that's how. But yeah, it should be good. We're going to try and keep up to date with as much as we can. We'll probably start previewing more shows like we did with Bloodsport last week, close to the time, and Spring Break this week. And we'll do a podcast, full run, like full of what matches we're most excited about from it.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's also Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor that weekend as well, which will be. But yeah, it should be good. I'm very excited. On that note, let's quickly wrap it up, Troy, with Wrestler of the Week. Who you got?
RVD. Why not? It's just nice to see RVD on telly in a ring, twatting about.
He's been fucking smashing it as well.
Yeah, man.
Match with Swerve the other week was banging. That match he had this week was fun.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say mine. You know what? Nick Nemeth. Because I'm just very, very happy for him.
Yeah.
I was torn between him and Ali, but Ali's gonna get that at some point this year.
Yeah, of course he is.
He's probably gonna get Wrestler of the Year, let's be fucking honest. Doing the Lord's work. So yeah, I'll say Nick Nemeth. Because it was nice to see him get his nice moments and gratification after being buried so fucking much. But yeah, that has been the podcast. Thank you very much.
You're not doing match of the week?
We can do match of the week. I forgot all about that.
That's all right.
Go on then. What's your match of the week?
CPF against Quintessential.
Good lads. Good lads. Mine is Athena versus Nyla Rose in a 2 out of 3 table match.
Nice. Because I've not seen that yet.
The bumps that Nyla took in that match were fucking silly. Like, she was not fucking around. But yeah, go watch that. It's on Honor Club. I'm sure you'll be able to find it other ways, but it's on Honor Club. But yeah, on that note, thank you for joining us. Have I forgotten anything else?
Nah, that's everything. Socials, they're all below.
They're all around us. Yeah. Make sure that you go watch Abyss versus Sting in a last rights match.
No thanks.
On TNA's YouTube channel.
Right.
That and the Prison Yard match is there too.
Might even do a watch along of
that. I think we should, but we'd have to do it for Patreon because TNA will fucking copyright strike the shit out of that.
Ah, fair. All right. Patreon coming soon.
As in, they'll get it taken down because they've done it to us before, the bastards. Yeah. But yeah, thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week with the rundown of what happened at Revolution and whatever else goes on this week.
Indeed. Bye.
Bye.